Stand, I'm going to call this meeting to order, and we are going to have a moment of silence in the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. The roll call, all of us are here except Scott, who is absent, awaiting surgery tomorrow. So we wish him well on his surgery. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the November 18th meeting, regular meeting? Andy made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Diana seconded. Does anybody have any questions about the minutes? Okay, if not, all those in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, the motion carries. We go on to D, presentations, and that would be Kelly Myers, PEIA stabilization.
Right here?
You can.
Okay.
If you'd rather do it from the podium, you can. It's up to you.
I do that way too much.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm just going to read it, and it's in front of you. It says, I'm here today to share with you a resolution written jointly by the WVEA and AFT West Virginia. The WVEA and AFT West Virginia stand united in their efforts to draw attention to and stabilize the annual instability felt in our health insurance, the Public Employees Insurance Agency, or PEIA. And this is just some of the changes that they have proposed for the upcoming fiscal year. One of them is a premium increase by 14% for employees. The one that really blew my mind was the 12% for retirees. That's just horrible. Doubling the spousal surcharge from $147 to $350. I actually call it like my penalty. This is like a penalty because I have a spouse who's on my insurance. They are going to be doubling prescription copays. So instead of $10, they'll be $20. Instead of $25, they'll be $50. 40% increase on deductible and out-of-pocket maximum. So your deductibles will increase, and I think it's a person, but don't quote me, $355. Your out-of-pocket maximum a year will be increasing by $1,610. It's huge. ER copays are going to double from $100 to $200. Inpatient copay from $100 to $250. So these are more than 100% increases. Same thing with outpatient. Now, this one isn't talked about a lot, but I looked at it and I thought about it and I looked it up. The advanced imaging copay increasing from $0 to $100. And all I can think about is, and I thought about my mother who's retired, my dad retired from here. All these times we've had her in the hospital in the last year, I can't tell you how many of these have occurred. So that I just thought this is unbelievable because when you're in the hospital, they're constantly taking you in for an MRI or something. And the thing that really disturbed me is that I believe mammograms fall underneath of this. So, which have always been covered. And I added down here that, the amount I pay is kind of funny, but I currently pay $666 a month from my check. If I keep my spouse on my plan next year, I'll be paying between $946 to $1,000 a month out of my paycheck. That's for me and my husband alone. And that, it just depends on what that 14% works out to, that it'd be somewhere between $946 and $1,000. We've opted to remove them because we can't afford that. That would be $500 out of my paycheck every 2 weeks. I'm looking at this and I see this amount and I'm thinking about our service personnel who have children and families, and this is scary. This is a scary chunk of their income. And for me personally, the biggest issue is that they're doing nothing to find that dedicated funding that we need to stabilize PEIA. And this is what, when we went on strike how many years ago, this is something they made a task force, they told us they were going to do it, and they're just not doing it. So every year, we're gonna see this. We're gonna see increases like this. We saw the increases last year. The increases are even greater this year. We're fortunate that we have Governor Justice who pushes for pay raises to try to offset this. We don't have him anymore. And I don't think the person we have is going to be offsetting anything. I just don't. I mean, I hope he proves me wrong, but I don't believe he will. So we are asking the Tyler County Board of Education to read the attached resolution and vote in support of adopting the resolution urging the legislators to stabilize PEIA. Boards of education across all 55 counties are reading and voting in support of the resolution. And the counties that have already signed are, that I know of, there's probably more at this point: Hancock, Brooke, Doddridge, Ohio, Mingo, Harrison, Monongalia, Mineral, Berkeley, Boone, Jackson, Kanawha, Lewis, and Tucker. And every single board who hasn't signed it is on their next agenda at this point.
Okay, so, we probably should read this.
Yep.
Okay, this is the resolution urging the state of West Virginia to stabilize the Public Employees Insurance Agency, PEIA. Whereas the Public Employees Insurance Agency, PEIA, provides vital health care benefits to public employees in West Virginia, including teachers, school staff, and administrators who serve in public schools throughout the state. And whereas a well-funded and sustainable PEIA is essential for attracting and retaining qualified educators and school personnel, ensuring that West Virginia's children receive the highest quality education possible. And whereas the recent financial instability of PEIA has led to increasing costs for public employees, diminishing their take-home pay, and placing an undue burden on those who are critical to the functioning of our educational system. And whereas the state of West Virginia has a responsibility to adequately support the public education system, which includes ensuring affordable and reliable health care benefits for all public school employees, and whereas the failure to stabilize PEIA threatens not only the well-being of our public employees, but also the effectiveness and stability of public education in West Virginia. And whereas the County Board of Education believes it is in the best interest of our students, employees, and communities that the state government take immediate action to stabilize PEIA to prevent further cost increases and reductions in benefits. Now, therefore, let it be resolved that the Tyler County Board of Education hereby urges the West Virginia State Legislature and the Governor to stabilize the Public Employees Insurance Agency, PEIA, ensuring that the program remains sustainable, affordable, and equitable for all public employees. Be it further resolved that the Tyler County Board of Education calls upon all other Board of Education's County Board of Education, state agencies, and public entities to join in supporting this resolution and advocating for the stabilization of PEIA. Be it finally resolved that a copy of this resolution shall be sent to the Governor of West Virginia, the President of the West Virginia State Senate, the Speaker of the West Virginia House of Delegates, and local legislative representatives to emphasize the importance of immediate action to stabilize PEIA for West Virginia's public employees and educators. So that's the resolution that they are asking us to sign. So, does anybody, anybody like to make a motion on that?
I make the motion.
To state that, to accept the resolution.
I make the motion.
Larry made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Andy seconded that. Now, does anybody have any questions they'd like to ask Kelly about the resolution or about PEIA?
I think it explains itself.
Yeah, I think we pretty much discussed it, and plus we've been hearing about it for a while, that they have been doing this. Actually, it's not, to me, some of these things aren't as bad as what I had heard. I had heard they were increasing by even more, so
I think originally it was 17%.
it was a lot. I just kept thinking how terrible it was, but
I mean, it's 17%. You're saying 17.
It's
14.
it's 14.
So you go back, that's 2 years of wages.
Yeah,
Increase.
they're gonna keep, like, this is gonna happen year after year. It happened last year, and and it's like, if you look at the paper I gave you, I believe it's a 5-year plan to just.
So essentially, the pay raise you got is paying
Going.
for your PEIA.
It'll be going and then some. Correct? I mean, from the time you.
Well, if the governor or the legislature does not give another pay raise this year to all state employees, then this will be taken out. I mean, it won't be offset like the raise
Exactly.
has in the past.
Exactly.
So that's a big deal,
Big deal.
It is. It is.
especially for our retired employees. That's a huge.
The retiree thing just, that hit hard. I was like, this is not, they're on a set income, that is not.
That's right.
It was pretty ugly to me. That's something I just didn't expect at all.
Yeah, something they work for.
Okay, well, I can tell you, I think that it's something that we need to do to show our staff and employees that we care about their health care and that the money that they make. Teachers do, well,
All personal.
all personnel in public education do not get paid enough. And quite frankly, I think it's terrible that we're now taking money out of your pockets for insurance. Okay, so if no one else has any more questions, all those in favor of us signing the resolution urging the state of West Virginia to stabilize PEIA, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, no one's opposed.
She's got a colored one if you want.
Oh, very good. You guys are good.
Okay,
We'll choose blue.
so I will sign and then I'll send it to you guys to sign. So today is what, the second?
Second.
I'm hoping this puts a little weight behind some bills that are being introduced. And is it rude if I just run away?
It is not rude.
I am so tired.
We appreciate you coming.
Yes, thank you very much.
And anytime there's anything like this, if there's anything else we can do to help get the word out, or if there's anything you wanna come and say, so it's,
Keep us
seen
updated.
by the,
Yeah,
just let us know.
Yeah, please keep us up.
I will, yeah. I'm not good at the whole public thing.
You did good.
Well, this is fine with you guys, it's not, but it's the,
You want to take this with you?
yes, I do. Actually, yes. You guys wanna make a copy of it?
Yeah. I'll have her make a copy and then she can just give it.
Perfect. Yeah. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate y'all. We really do. We appreciate Tyler County Schools.
Thank you.
I wouldn't work anywhere else, unless it was art.
Good luck with your classes.
Oh, well, that final's due tomorrow at noon, so yeah.
Okay,
We will. I was going to go over.
Oh, okay.
That's
Oh, that's this.
that. With number 2, the approval of the impact statement and supporting data. I gave that to you all to read at the last meeting, so I would ask for approval, and if there's any questions after it's been.
Okay, so do I have a motion to approve the impact statement and supporting data?
Should we ask questions first?
It's after you make the motion.
Make the second. I'll make the motion.
Larry made the motion. Do I have a second? Andy seconded that. So now it's time for questions.
So I did go through all of this.
Okay.
And actually, I had some questions which, once I went through it, were answered. Like I wondered if all the people were gonna have jobs, and I saw there where, yes, everybody will be. I do have a question on the first page. I know it talks in here about making things, how it's important to be transparent, to bring about a unified culture and everything. So, you remember when the architect was here and showed us some pictures?
Mm-hmm.
Are those pictures anywhere in the county?
So I had a parent call and I talked to them. So that's kind of what we'll do this month is we'll get those pictures out. These are in the schools. Once you guys say, okay, these will be in the schools for the public to come look at, the impact statements, then we're gonna get some renderings and drawings to all the schools. So if people wanna, and then we plan on putting them on our website. And then today, I don't know if you saw that we put a survey out to the public.
I saw it.
That it's 5 questions, getting just whatever input they'd like to give us. I will say that when I checked right before I came in here, we'd already had 118 responses to the survey, which is a great number. Answers varied, and my plan is for transparency is every week or every board meeting that we have, I plan on for the next 2 board meetings to bring those responses to you all. That way, just to go over kind of where we are with that survey, and then before we meet on that, or not before, but during those January meetings, just going over that survey with all the information that's been provided by the public and just for you guys to have. But yeah, so yes, there will be.
And I think that's what I'm concerned about, because I thought it would be nice to have pictures in both libraries.
Yep.
You know, and of course in both elementary schools. And I was even wondering if Patrick Reimer, who gave a nice presentation to us, could actually go to the faculty senate of each school, because then every single teacher is there.
Involved.
And if they have any questions, they can ask
That's a great idea.
Mr. Reimer. And I don't know if he could hit both faculty senates at the same time, and I don't know when the next one's coming up either. See, we're under a deadline right now. We're in January.
There's one before break. So yeah, we should be able to do something. If not, I know we have a PE day or a professional development day coming up. Maybe it'd be the opportunity then, instead of not just faculty senate, but he could go to both schools and meet with the staff. That's a good idea.
And that way, it would be covered by, all the teachers would see it.
Sure. Yep.
And so with my great mathematical skills on page 15, I was looking at annual current cost, and that's where I had a question, will teachers lose their job? And I put no, because it tells you on page 6. I said, okay. So I think what I was looking at is when down at the bottom when it says anticipated annual cost after action, it's just adding up the 2 schools and putting it down there.
Yeah, because the building is going to be, and this is just a guess, but it's going to be twice the size as Borman and Citrusville. So the cost of utilities will not shrink that much.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think that's what I was looking at, that is there really going to be any savings? But ultimately, there has to be if you're under one
Absolutely.
building. We just don't know for sure because of the size of it.
Well, and efficiency of things now are different, and also with attrition, like, you know, no one's going to lose their job, but if a 3rd grade teacher would retire, we don't need that 3rd grade teacher. Then over time, when these classes get smaller, we're not going to need to replace those people. So that's over time, you're going to save money in that sense too.
And then on page 16, I just hope you can help me understand this. It's
Sure.
talking about approved levy estimate From 2023 to 2024, wow, that was a big jump from the 16 up to the 41. Can you explain that? I'm just curious.
So that's probably a better question for Jeff because I don't know all that. But I will tell you that is because of increased property values in the county.
Okay.
So that's where all those jumps have came from, is from those property values going up.
Okay, I understand that. So we're talking here about the levy, but the levy doesn't come up for a while, does it?
No. We just
Passed
we just passed the levy.
And that's good for several years.
four or five,
It's
isn't
a
it?
5-year levy, so
5-year.
we're in the first year of that.
Okay. And then I just noticed that all administration, cooks, aides, everything's gonna stay the same.
Yep.
I was happy to see under administration 2, which that's probably talking about the principals.
Correct.
There is a +4 under aides. I don't know if there was a reason for that or just maybe anticipation of being able to get extra help in there for our students.
Well, +4 for aides is because next year we have to include, we have to add to another grade level. I think we're up
The
to 3rd
state
grade now.
requires us to add
okay.
aides every year.
Okay. Okay, and this is the last thing that concerns me on page 29.
Okay.
I know January 6th is when we are going to have the hearing for AIB,
Yes.
and that is open for all parents.
Correct.
Okay. And then January 21st, at the next board meeting, is when we're going to do it for Sistersville Elementary.
Correct.
Okay. So what concerns me is when it says Tyler County Board will vote immediately following the hearings for AIB at 6 p.m. and SES at 7 p.m. What if at those public hearings, the parents, especially the second one on the 21st, what if those parents really have a lot of questions and we need time to go out, let's find out some answers for this and try to help them understand things.
Okay.
I'm concerned about meeting with them for that last closing and then just voting to close the schools if the parents still have some concerns or something. Does that create a problem if we just try to answer their questions a couple weeks later and then vote?
I don't know. I'll have to ask. I know that there's, with this process through the legislature, there's a timeline, but I sure can ask if there's a. So you're asking if there's a lot of questions that second hearing, if we would have more time to come back and vote. Yeah, I can ask that question for sure.
Okay, so I think I'm for the consolidation. After what we saw, and I think when the public sees it, it's gonna be a beautiful facility. I love the drop-off road for the parents. I mean, they're just trying to take in everything possible. How they're organizing it with the younger children and then the middle ones and then the older ones. And I think when the public sees that they'll understand it more. And that's why I think if he would talk to both faculty senates, so every single teacher at the school is listening to it. And if we do get some pictures out there for the parents to see it, and those who want to need to come in, and the pictures are there of a lot of the damage.
Yeah.
And the structural damage in that.
I'm sure Mr. Rutherford would put those in the paper for us too.
That would be good.
Yeah. I mean, it's very obvious of the damage.
As it progresses or something.
I think it's very important to have those meetings and input from everybody. The only question I have, has there been any discussion of adding more fleet, a couple more buses? I mean, in the past, we've had shuttles that really getting that timeline.
So
And
what?
getting kids nutrition and
That's-
food and breakfast and things like that. Has there been discussion of adding any more fleet?
So what happened was, Mr. Davis had, part of this impact statement is he has to go through and redo the times it would be for kids to get to the new elementary school, which is in here. So
I saw those.
what will happen is, once we send this impact statement in, that may be a suggestion that the State Department gives us. Or if we see, yes, I mean, I don't think there's anything think we're opposed to doing that if we need to. We don't want kids to be on buses any longer than they have to be, and we want them to have time to eat breakfast. That's a big thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll. That's something that once we send this in and they look at, they may say, hey, you may need to add 2 routes. We'll be okay. So
Because I know in the past, prior to the consolidation in Peyton City to Citrusville, it's really rushing.
yeah, and we've had
those
to-
pickups,
yep.
and we had to
had to
add.
add one.
Yes.
Yep.
And so, you know, you're adding more distance and more time and, to get those.
I was surprised there was only a couple that are that have. I mean, some of them, of course, have extended, but he has rearranged some to look at, and it's pretty much stayed consistent with what it is now. So, but I feel like once we get closer to this, we may have more students who come here, and we may have to, you know, add routes or change some routes for sure.
So, you know, I sent you that thing about,
And it is one of the questions that's on the survey. So, eco-friendly. Yes, it is.
So did you ask the architects if there was any way we could do that?
Well, there's all
Tell
kinds
them,
of
Katrina,
ways.
I don't know if Larry and, but you
Oh,
mentioned it to me. It's
Yeah,
wonderful.
I think it's one. Was it Wayne County, Webster County? One of the counties just put on their schools. They put solar power, and so it helps save money on their electric bills too. And I thought, you know, here we are. If we're building a new school, if there was any way, I mean, even if it only helped a little bit, it would definitely be. I don't know. One of my friends has solar power at her house now, Holly Smith, and she loves it and says it saves her a ton of money. And I just kept thinking, you know, if we're going to build a new school and schools in West Virginia are now starting to do it, that might be something that we might want to consider. It would be a way to save money, and when we get in our poor times again, it could conceivably save us a lot of money.
Saving money now. I have no problem with it.
So-
It's here.
so will
It's
you
it's
ask
here.
him?
Yeah, and I seen I get these new innovative magazines that I most of the time just share with Mrs. Kimball about new schools they're building, and I saw that there was maybe a school in Arizona or it was one of the out west, but they had windows that were kind of what are they called, like moon lights or sunlights or whatever that come through the.
Oh yeah.
But they generated energy and also allowed in some outside light. But it was, yeah, definitely I can. I'm sure there's all kinds of new innovative ways to do it.
Yeah, I just like the idea of that.
New buildings.
Okay, so
I just think that the biggest thing with me was it's already December 2nd and we're looking at the first part of January and it's like, are we gonna have enough time to do all this?
Yeah.
So,
That is the timeline.
yeah.
That is the timeline. That's when you have to do it. So, and then Mrs. Roberts has already sent out the legal. We have to send out that legal advertisement so many weeks before it has to run in the paper so many times. So, but we're on track with all that. We've been in pretty. Mrs. Kim and I have been in constant communication with the State Department on making sure that we're doing things by the timeline. We want to make sure we're doing that. So.
okay, so are there any other questions about the impact statement and the supporting data? Okay, if not, all those in favor of approving the impact statement and supporting data, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, that motion is approved. Carried, whatever. All right, so we're moving on to G, superintendent's report.
Under superintendent's report, I just had a few things. I did just mention the survey. We're up to, I think it was 118 people have got on there and filled out the survey. And then at the bottom, we've given them an opportunity to have a place just to say some things that they'd like to say other than just filling out the survey. We've had some pretty good responses so far. Like I said, I'll make sure I continue to update everyone on that. At our next meeting, we're going to have our task students come from the middle school. They recently were part of the pumpkin drop at WVU.
Mr. Winters was telling me about that.
Part of the pumpkin drop at the engineering building, and they also have a class store that they want to talk to you all about that they've been doing as a task group. So they're going to come and just kind of go over the program and what they've been doing. doing some good things, so.
I tried to explain to him, he's too young. He's not old enough to remember David Letterman. And, David Letterman used to drop stuff off the top of the buildings all the time and splatter it. Like, he had the exact opposite, that the task kids are trying to keep it from splattering, but David Letterman splattered it. So I, of course, went on YouTube and found some of David Letterman's things and sent them to Mr.
Our high school's
Winters.
done that too, and they placed a few years ago.
Yeah.
They have to try to land it in a spot or something.
Chris, when he was in school, they went to Grand Rapids, Michigan for some science thing, and they had to build something to keep egg from busting. So, anyways, it's very interesting for the kids, and they love that kind of thing. So it'll be fun to see what they have to tell us about it. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay, then committee reports. Anybody been to any of the committees this time?
Multi was very short.
Oh, was it?
Very short, with the holiday and all.
Oh, well, that's true.
Everything's running good.
Okay, well, mine hasn't come for this month yet, so I'll report back the next month.
Middleburn meets every third month, every 3 months, so.
Oh, okay. Project updates.
Project updates, the guys working out back on the project, they have the steel on the roof. I believe almost all steel is on. I was talking to one of them today and I said, I bet you wish the windows were in. It's pretty cold now.
I bet it is.
So they're working still they're working inside and outside to get it all shored up. We have full access of the high school gym. We did re-wax the mezzanine stairs and things like that, so it's all ready to go. Teams are utilizing the mezzanine for practices. We're getting ready to put the scoreboard towards the hillside back up. It'll be up temporary, but once we have the glass and everything in, it'll go upstairs. So that will be we'll put that up as a temporary fix. Locker rooms are complete at the high school, middle school. Of course, all the flooring is done. They're just, I think they're wanting to get that addition closed up so they can get in there and start working. So we have a meeting next week, and I'll make sure that I have some more information about the 2-week look ahead and things like that for you guys in my updates.
Okay, staff reports.
Nothing.
Financials.
Nothing.
Policy reviews.
Under policy reviews, I just wanted to update you. Neola is starting to work on some of those policies that we had talked about that we want to make sure we get out in front of. But we've been in communication over email over break. But I look forward to really diving into that and working with Mr. Hess to update our policies. And I think it'll be a great product when it's all said and done.
It'll be good. 6 months.
Okay.
Still holding it 6
Yeah.
months.
Did we have any athletic schedule? We didn't have any, did we?
No.
Approval of requests.
Approval of requests, I had a couple trip requests there. And I would ask for approval of those 3.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the 3 trip requests listed?
Make a motion.
Diana made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Andy second that. Any questions about the 3 trips? Okay, all those in favor of approving these 3 trips, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Those 3 trips are approved. Other requests.
Under other requests, we have one there that would like to cross county lines to attend Tyler County Schools, and I would ask for approval of that.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the other request? Larry made the motion.
I'll second it.
Diana seconded it. Does anybody have any questions about that? Okay, all those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, personnel.
Under personnel, we had no resignations after publication. Employment transfers and rescissions, A through D, employee Caitlin Owens is the assistant wrestling coach at Tigers Lady Middle School. We're still waiting to get her certification back. Employee Thomas Lemons is a temporary bus operator for Route 56, and that's effective immediately. That temporary is because we have someone out due to illness. So after so many days in service personnel world, you have to post that position as a temporary job. So that's where we're at with that. Employee Danny Cochran is a temporary extracurricular assignment of school bus operator for the Middleburn area after school activity bus route, effective immediately. That is also because we have someone out with illness. Employ D. Amanda Spencer as a temporary extracurricular assignment of school bus operator for the AIB 5th grade band route, and that would be effective immediately. And I would ask for approval of those 4.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve those employments?
I'll make a motion.
Andy made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second,
Larry seconded that, and
and I'll abstain from D being niece.
oh, and Larry will abstain from voting on D. Does anybody have any questions about these employments? Okay, all those in favor of approving these employments, say aye. Aye. Then Larry abstained on D. Opposed? Okay, motion carries.
Under other personnel, I don't, so we have a handful of students that have been nominated to go audition on December 7th for the All-State Band. And this came out after we were able to get it on the agenda. But Mr. Jennings, Mrs. Holcomb, and Mrs. Fetty would like to take these students on the 7th of December to the Creative Arts Center in Morgantown, and that's for them to audition for All-State Band. So I don't know if we could put that under other personnel issues or what we would like to do with that, but I don't want these students to miss out on the opportunity. He didn't get this information until after.
Would that be under trip request?
Well, it isn't on the agenda though, so that's why I'm concerned. I didn't know if we could do it under other personnel or what you guys would like to do. I feel comfortable allowing them to take these students to try out, or we could ask that parents take their students, and then that wouldn't have to be approved by the board.
And that's when, what's the date?
December 7th.
December 7th.
I-
And you just received this?
Yeah.
I'll make the motion that we accept the, follow.
I was gonna say, you can do that, or you can wait
I
till
mean,
after the
we-
meeting and I can approve it as in between
I think
meetings.
we can vote as a.
Yeah,
I have
I
no
think
problem.
that's the
Okay.
best
The
thing.
adults again?
The adults were Mr. Jennings, Miss Holcomb, and Mrs. Fetty, whose daughters are also she could be a chaperone.
And we have it here tonight.
Yeah.
So I'll make the motion, we add that to
I think
the
that's-
agenda.
Second it.
Larry made the motion to add that to the, trip request.
Okay.
And Andy seconded that. Does anybody have any more questions about it? Okay, if not, all those in favor of allowing those chaperones to take kids to the all-state tryout, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? No.
Thank you, guys.
Motion's carry.
Thank you.
Sure. Okay, we are to allow the authorized payment of bills. Do I have a motion to pay the bills?
I'll make a motion.
Diana made the motion to pay the bills. Do I have a second?
Second.
Andy seconded that. Does anybody have any question about the bills? Okay, if not, all those in favor of payment of the bills, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Request for agenda items for the next board meeting. Okay.
That survey, I remember seeing it, when's the deadline on that?
I just had it run clear through the month of December.
Okay, if you could just bring us a actual update from that survey, please.
Sure will.
And of course, the projects,
Mhm.
you know, with the.
Sure.
And also, request from Mrs. Stender, Ms. Stender of,
Backward
Mr. Ryder.
incentive.
Oh, yeah.
Dates and
Yeah.
times on that, please.
Yep.
Okay, so, well, and if you get that information, you have to wait till the meeting.
Right, I'll let you guys know.
Yeah,
Okay,
so just be case.
okay, any other, agenda items that you would like to request? If not, our next regular meeting will be held on Monday, December 16th at 7 o'clock here. All those in favor, no.
Make the motion, Jared.
Do I have a motion to, adjourn this meeting?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you. Will someone second that, please?
Second.
Larry seconded it. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, it has went.